Hey guys, Rycon here. As I'm sure you can see, Logan's healing up nicely in the doc's house. He's out of commission for a little bit, but you know, I have the feeling he's going to be back up on his feet in no time at all. So I thought I'd take this time to do a small out-of-character video just to explain a few things. I've had a few questions come through that I thought might be better if I answer them, because I can be able to explain them a little bit more rather than just writing it out in text in comment form. So I'm going to try and work through a few of those, and then yeah, I'll go over a few things that weren't asked but I think may come up at a later time. First things first, I'd like to thank everyone that subscribed. This has been a massive turnout, more than I could have expected when I started this series. I started this series because I really wanted to take a character through the New Vegas game by role-playing and just see where that went, and I found that by recording it I'd always have a means to go back and re-experience different parts of it, and so the channel was just an outlet really for that, and a means to kind of keep it going. And I really didn't expect such a positive turnout of people, and I mean, to be reaching 60 subscribers after only 2 weeks, I'm absolutely blown away. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed. It means a lot to me, and it really does help me get motivated and keep the ball rolling on this. So yeah, I mean, thank you. It means a lot to me. So I'll get stuck into some of these questions. So the first one that I've got to talk about today is from NBW47. So a few episodes ago he asked if I could include a mod list. So from now on, for all the different videos, I'm going to be including a mod list. So there may be some changes over time, but since I started recording, I've kept with the same mods. So I'll kind of go through the list that I've got here and just kind of explain why I chose them and how I feel they're going to help the series or help the immersion. So I went with oHUD for the first one, which I believe is by Gopher. And essentially what that does is it brings all of his HUD mods into the one, where you have complete control through MCM, which is the mod menu. Allows you to go through and change all of the settings and kind of set it up exactly how you want it to be. I'm kind of wanting to try and move away from the HUD being there. The whole reason I've kind of got it there is because it's kind of like a quicker access from the readings that I would be getting from my Pip-Boy, so the time of day, etc. So it's just so I don't have to flash the Pip-Boy up as much as I do. But I think I'm going to be trying to phase that back a little bit and kind of move away from the HUD being there and kind of more rely on other things to convey how Logan's health is, etc. So I think I'm going to try and phase that out eventually. That's going to be a little bit slower. Next two mods I'll kind of talk about at the same time, because they're both massive mods. So the first one is Project Nevada, and the other is FOOK. So I'm kind of running a combination of both of those. They're just massive overhauls. They add a whole heap to the game. They're essentially like what Wondrous Edition was to Fallout 3. So there's just a massive amount of content that's been added to the game through that, and in some of the later videos you'll be able to kind of see and experience some of those things, and I really think that they do help with the immersion in the game, especially when it comes to some of the helmets and armor that will come along as the playthrough progresses, because it does actually affect your field of view. So you know, Logan won't have his helmet on the whole time because it does restrict his vision and make it harder for him to see things. So there's that kind of there's that dilemma of protection versus perception. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that. The next one is New Vegas Redesigned, which is a massive texture overhaul, and it's mostly to do with faces. So you might notice in some of, I think 1 and 2, the faces didn't quite match up properly. I managed to get those textures working properly eventually. Probably Sunny's the most noticeable, but what it does is it kind of the author, the way he describes it is it kind of, the voices that the characters have, he felt like the original faces didn't really display their personality that he was getting through their voices, so he's done a massive redesign of quite a few of the central characters in the game and kind of gave them these new faces that he and both I believe as well suits them a lot more. So you'll probably notice a few characters along the way that look slightly different than the vanilla versions. It also does add in a whole heap of different textures for the faces, just boosts the quality a little bit more. Next one is Nevada Skies. So I'm probably going to be changing that one out in a little bit, but that just it adds what makes the sky more beautiful, really. But it also adds weather effects as well. So, well, it hasn't happened yet, but there is a chance of rain, and that's going to obviously affect how Logan survives in the desert as well. And not only that, but the lack of rain as well, how hot the day gets, it's really going to start taking its toll on him if he's doing long journeys out there without any rest. So pushing ahead, next one is Eve, which is unfortunately I can't remember what the abbreviation is for, but it's known as Eve, and essentially that's a massive effects overhaul. So we probably saw it in just the past episode 3, with the plasma pistol. Like, that thing had it's been completely redesigned, really, all the effects, sounds as well. So you'll notice that a lot throughout the game, where those particle effects have really been taken to a whole new level, and the quality's a lot higher. Next mod is Imp's Timescale Adjuster. So what this does is simply extends the timescale. So instead of having time go by on a much faster scale, I'm trying to have the days have more impact and more length to them. So you'll notice that the time does go a little bit slower than the vanilla game, by a decent factor actually. And so I've been playing around trying to get the perfect amount, and I think I'm pretty much there. So that's Imp's Timescale Adjuster, and it's great for balancing out that time. A really basic one that I've got in there is Tutorial Killer, which takes out all of the tutorial messages at the start of the game, just makes for a cleaner start, really. Next is Dynavision, another one by Gopher, and Dynavision is a visual overhaul as well, but it's much more around like depth of field and lighting effects. And so Dynavision is another mod that kind of takes on a whole heap of other mods under its wing, and it kind of acts as like an interface for you to change all these things in a really, really quite simple way. And then a few more simpler mods just to finish it off. There's a portable bedroll that I've added to the game, KDS Backpacks, and Bottle That Water. They're all kind of a little bit self-explanatory. The final one that I've got in there at the moment is the new Vegas Bounties, and the reason I've got that in there is because it's a great mod. Now, whether or not Logan's going to do anything about that, it all depends on the type of person that he becomes, and really, I don't think he is the kind of person that would kill someone for money. But we don't know what this game's going to do to him, and we don't know what the Wasteland's going to do to him. So, it exists in the world. So, yeah, it's there. Next question I have is from Pinkentron. Hope that's how you say it. So his question is, it was to do about these out-of-character videos, and wondering if we could get a backstory on Logan. There was another question from Madrigal as well that kind of was along the same kind of line. And the reality is, Logan doesn't even know his last name. When he was shot in the head, he forgot everything of his life before. He doesn't even know how he became a courier. Now, over time, there are going to be small things that trigger memories, like small fragments of his past, where eventually over time he may be able to piece them together to find out the person he was before. There are small hints in this episode. There's two things in particular. There's a harmonica, and there's also mention of a comic book, and in later videos that comes to the forefront a little bit more, but it's going to be a slow burner. because amnesia is a serious thing, and especially when he's had large pieces of his brain removed, it's not something that's going to heal itself over time. There's a lot of things that are going to be damaged irrevocably, a lot of things that he isn't going to be able to remember. So he's kind of been discovering the person he is again for the first time, and he may have been a completely different person before, and I think it's going to be quite interesting if he does run into someone from his past, because they would have known a completely different person from how he is now. The person that he is now is being shaped by this new environment that he's in, the people that he's interacting with, and well, thankfully he started off in a pretty good place with some pretty decent people, so he hasn't really seen the harshness that's out there. He's got a taste of it with these powder gangers, but he hasn't really got a feel for how harsh the desert really is. It's going to be interesting to see how that changes him. But yes, there will be more backstory, and I can promise you there are going to be some really cool sequences which I'm kind of going to be delivering through dreams. So when he sleeps at night, small fragments, these things are going to start to piece together, and eventually over time he may be able to remember larger sections of his past. So you definitely got that to look forward to, and yeah, don't worry, he has a backstory. I know where he's been, I know where he comes from. It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to be able to piece together parts of that, and he'll be able to remember. The final question tonight is from Madrigal, and that is regarding personality quirks, what makes Logan angry, what he's afraid of, specific interests or vices, and his thoughts on finding a partner. The first of those four are things that we're going to find out over time, and I kind of can't reveal all of them now because Logan is such a clean slate. You know, he's a blank canvas, or at least he started off like that, and I think by now he is starting to develop a personality, and I feel like you guys are getting to know him more, and I think you will be able to pick up on over time some of those little quirks and things that really do tick him off, and yeah, his sense of order and, well, his morals. They'll all be discovered as we push further out into the desert. The final question about his thoughts on finding a partner, so I mean that's kind of covering companions in the game as well, and it's something that I probably will end up in eventually, but it's something that's never going to be forced, so it'll have to be something that suits the situation. But an actual partner or a companion, I don't think he's had time to really think about it at this stage. I think if he ever becomes comfortable in any environment, that might possibly come to the forefront a little bit more, and it's all very situational. It just depends. It depends where he is, who the person is, and yeah, I mean, we never know really. It's the same as a lot of these things. He's going to be influenced by different factors, and but yeah, let's just say it's not ruled out. It's just none of one of those maybes. And the final question I have was from Wesley Woods, and that was about other LPs, in particular a Skyrim LP. I am planning on doing a Skyrim LP, and I've wanted to literally as soon as I started this Fallout LP, but that's definitely something that's going to come later along the line. I am working on bits and pieces of it now, putting together a story, but because of how Skyrim is, it's going to have to be, well, I'm just going to have to develop the story a lot more at the front. So that will be still a wee way off, but it can be expected in the future. There are a few final key points I'd like to add, and that's on the subject of death. So this playthrough, it's not Iron Man. So when Logan dies, it's not it's not his death. And there will be times where I accidentally will get killed. But that doesn't rule out the possibility of him being able to die in the game. If it's a silly mistake, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to reload and retry. But if it's through another circumstance, say starvation or thirst, if he's out in the desert long enough and can't sustain himself and find resources to survive, that will be his death. So that's definitely going to be a factor that he's going to have to watch out for, and he probably will come close to. But it's not impossible. So he can die. And he's come close so far. There's been a few times where he's been very, very close. But as I'm saying, it's not Iron Man, so there will be a few deaths here and there. Obviously, they won't be covered in the video as they aren't part of the story. So I will try and find ways to work around that. If it does happen, so far it hasn't happened, and I hope to keep it that way as long as possible, but mistakes do happen, and unfortunately there are a large number of glitches still in the game, and they can be big factors that end up with death. So yeah, it's not an Iron Man playthrough, but there is always a chance that he could die. And if it does fit the story, it could happen. If he's not strong enough, if he's not quick enough, if he's not smart enough, it could happen. So he's going to have to bring his A game to be able to survive out there. So I think that about does it for tonight. So thanks for the questions, and I'm sorry I couldn't get up a little bit more warning before then. So I probably will do another one of these again soon, after another week potentially. So keep sending questions through. If there are things that I haven't covered tonight that you'd like me to answer, fire them through and I will do my best. So until next time, keep well, and I'll see you in the wasteland.